You've imagined staying young forever. One king actually got the chance. In most cultures, you celebrate every birthday the same way. Cake, candles, done. But in South India, some birthdays are treated almost like a second wedding. Entire families gather. Priests are invited. Sacred rituals are performed. People travel across countries just to attend. And the ages being celebrated are not 18, not 21, not even 50, but 60, 70, and even 100. Why? Why would an entire civilization celebrate those specific ages? And what if I told you? The answer goes back thousands of years, to a king who got something every human being secretly dreams about: unlimited youth. His name was Yayati, and according to the ancient texts, Yayati was not an ordinary king. He was powerful, wealthy, respected, feared, loved. A ruler whose kingdom stretched across vast lands. A man blessed with everything most people spend their entire lives chasing: power, status, pleasure, success. If anyone should have been happy, it was Yayati. But his story would eventually become one of the greatest warnings ever told. Because Yayati learned something that most of us spend our entire lives trying to understand. One day, everything changed. Through a chain of events involving pride, desire, and destiny, Yayati was cursed. Instantly, the young king became an old man. His strength disappeared. His beauty vanished. His youth was gone. Imagine that. One moment you have your entire life ahead of you. The next, you are forced to confront old age. But fate offered him an impossible bargain. If one of his sons willingly gave him their youth, Yayati could become young again, and so he asked them. One by one, his sons refused, every single one, except one. A son named Puru. Puru looked at his aging father and did something extraordinary. He gave away his youth so that his father could live young again. And just like that, the old king became young, and the young prince became old. Most stories would end there. Yayati's was only beginning, because now, Yayati had exactly what every human being thinks they want: more time, more pleasure, more experiences, more opportunities, more life. And he decided to enjoy it. A year passed, then 10, then 100, then 500, then 1,000. 1,000 years of youth, 1,000 years to fulfill every desire, 1,000 years to experience every pleasure, 1,000 years to finally become satisfied. But something strange happened. The satisfaction never arrived. Every desire fulfilled gave birth to another desire. Every pleasure created a new hunger. Every achievement produced another goal. The finish line kept moving, again and again and again, until finally, after 1,000 years, Yayati understood something terrifying. And before I tell you what he realized, think about our own lives. How often do we tell ourselves, just one more promotion, one more achievement, one more house, one more purchase, one more milestone? Then I'll finally be happy. Then I'll finally relax. Then I'll finally feel complete. We all do it. The details change, but the pattern stays the same. Yayati wasn't different from us. He just had a crown. And then, after 1,000 years, the king finally saw the truth. He said, "Desire is never satisfied by feeding it. Just as fire grows stronger when you add more fuel, desire grows stronger when you keep feeding it. Not weaker, stronger." The problem was never that he didn't have enough. The problem was believing that enough was always somewhere in the future. And with that realization, everything changed. Yayati returned his son's youth. gave away his throne, walked into the forest, and finally found peace. Not because he got everything he wanted, but because he no longer needed to. And that should have been the end of the story. But it wasn't. Because our ancestors did something remarkable with Yayati's realization. This is the part most people don't know. Our rishis took Yayati's insight and turned it into a roadmap for human life. Not as birthdays, but as transformations. 5 milestones, 5 stages of wisdom. And when someone reaches one of them, we celebrate. Not because they survived another decade, but because of who they are becoming. The first milestone is 60. Sashtipoorthi, the completion of a full cycle. This is the age when something begins to shift. The question is no longer, how much more can I achieve? The question becomes, what actually matters? The hunger for recognition begins to loosen, not completely, but noticeably. And that is not weakness. It is the beginning of wisdom. The second milestone is 70. Bhimaratha Shanti, the crossing into peace. At this stage, many people discover something profound. Being at peace is far more powerful than being right. The need to win every argument starts fading. The need to have the last word becomes less important, and a deeper strength appears, the strength of stillness. The third milestone is 80. Sathabhishekam, the 100-fold blessing. At 80, people stop coming to you because you have answers. They come because your presence itself has become reassuring. You have lived through enough storms that simply sitting beside you gives others hope. Your existence becomes a blessing. The fourth milestone is 90. Navati, the year of quiet dissolution. The ego slowly begins to loosen its grip. Small battles no longer seem important. You stop taking every disagreement personally. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. A quiet dignity begins to settle in. And that quietness is true spirituality. And finally, 100. Shatam, the living blessing. At this age, life stops being your personal story. You begin to see that most of the pain you carried was temporary. Most of the fears you carried never came true. And most of the love you gave was the only thing that truly mattered. A person at 100 is not merely old. They become a living reminder of what a human life can become. And now the answer to our original question. Why does South India celebrate 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100? Because these celebrations were never about age. They were never about getting older. They were about transformation, about honoring the journey from ambition to wisdom, from achievement to peace, from desire to understanding. Yayati needed 1,000 years to learn what our ancestors hoped we would learn in one lifetime. That aging is not decline, it is becoming. So the next time you attend a Sashtipoorthi or a Bhimaratha Shanti, you'll know. You are not just celebrating a birthday. You are honoring a human being who has crossed one of life's rarest thresholds. If this story changed how you see aging, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Some stories deserve to be passed on. Subscribe to PrimeMytha, and before you go, tell me in the comments, which milestone are you closest to right now? I read every single one. This is PrimeMytha, and I'll see you in the next story.